Frost. This is Hip Hop Origins, Trinidad and Tobago. This season, we're going to continue on this journey from the streets to the studios, Trinidad and Tobago, to see what's up with hip hop.
Not exactly hip hop, but perhaps part of the culture. Who knows? There might be a verse or two about him. But when you think hip hop, you think the US, maybe even Brooklyn more specifically. But the Tempo Networks is going to make you think Trinidad and Tobago. So to tell me more as to how we're going to do that, I am joined by the digital marketing strategist for Tempo Networks and the host of Hip Hop Origins Trinidad, Jupiter Frost. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, my dear. How are you?
I'm good. I'm excited because also joining us is Mr. Kester D'Arnaud.
D'Arnaud.
D'Arnaud. It's French or something. But a producer at Tempo Networks, who's also giving us some insights on how this series is going to unfold and it incredibly impact the way we hear ourselves. Gentlemen, good morning and thank you for joining me.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having us here.
It is always a good time when we have people telling our stories. And I think when we think hip-hop, like I said, we think the US, we don't really necessarily think Trinbago or even the Caribbean.
Exactly.
But when we talk origins, we're going to get to the root of things, literally, and find out that it is actually rooted in the Caribbean.
Exactly.
I loved that from jump. So as a filmmaker, artist, host, everything in between, there has to be a specific perspective that you're coming from. So what do we see when we look at hip-hop origins?
Right. Well, I have had a passion for music from as long as I could remember. Started in a rock band in the early 2000s, jump genres, obviously. Trinidad and Tobago, we celebrate every genre of music.
Freely.
We have freely, and we have an avenue for every genre of music in Trinidad. You know, we have communities that, you know, people are part of. So with that being said, hip hop and reggae especially were very close to my heart for a long time. So when Mr. Tempo approached me about this, you know, he explained to me that we were looking to tell the story of, you know, hip-hop's Caribbean lineage, you know, through DJ Kool Herc and things like that. I started explaining to him that we have a really big hip-hop community in Trinidad,
for sure.
You know, and all artists are on that, many of them are on that international level, and they don't get the exposure that they should, or, you know, Caribbean people may not identify with hip-hop as they would other genres like soca, calypso, and things like that. But really and truly, if we look at it, hip-hop is a Caribbean thing. You know, we influence a lot of things in the world out there, and hip-hop is just one of those things. So I believe that all artists need to get that space, and we need to get that push and that support.
Right.
So I was thrilled to jump on the project.
Now, Kester, you're going to be basically creating that space to make sure, or continue rather, because we've got you in terms of directing. We know that you have your own, what is it that I want to use? Commitment, almost, into hip-hop. So tell me the role that you are playing in this endeavor.
Well, I had an invested role in hip-hop because a lot of my, especially hip-hop in Trinidad, a lot of my friends make it happen. Some of these artists out there have been digging away at hip-hop for years in this country, promoting themselves locally and abroad. So for me, when Jupiter came to me and was like, Mr. Tempo wants us to do this, I was 100% on board with support. 100% on board with support. Plus, a lot of these men, like Jupiter said, these men have beyond international level talent. And realistically, we just wanted, through Mr. Tempo, to support Trinidad culture and Trinidad artists. So realistically, I really think that we just put ourselves in the position where we had great artists willing to contribute. We had great producers willing to contribute beats. So even throughout the whole series, you hear original beats from Trinidad producers. We had great, like everyone on board was wonderful. Special big ups to Kevin Acosta, who we really couldn't do a lot of this without, seriously, Johnny Bravo is the man.
AKA Johnny Bravo.
Johnny Bravo is the man, seriously. And we really just, like he said, and like I will say, and Mr. Tempo asked us to, he just wants us to promote Trinidad and Caribbean culture. That's what we're here to do, no matter the.
Ultimately, this is what's going to happen. Yes. Now, I think it's interesting that we continuously, though, use the term international standards because it speaks to, in this case, of course, measuring up to what we assume is the origins of hip-hop, the U.S. and abroad. Yeah. But if we're talking about having origins in the Caribbean, it's a little bit of a controversial perspective. Mm-hmm. But why do we decide that the U.S. is always the measure? How do we measure even our greatness, especially now if we have the context of having origins and the greatness and capabilities without the industry measurements like counting your sales or your streaming tunes? How do we do that?
Exactly. Well, the difference is here that we are, in this show, we are not actually measuring against a U.S. standard. Because a lot of the artists that we interview, they come in with that Trini accent and they come in with it strong. And I firmly believe, and I believe all of our team from doing this production, we firmly believe that Trini hip hop is about to make its own space. Yeah. Similar to what Trinidad did. They're about to make their own space, man. These artists and them doing amazing stuff. Big up to like First Class and DNA and Chromatics, and we know these people. Like First Class is one of those artists. He produced a lot of big soca's like Bucket, Kes Come Girl, Tuesday on the Rocks, and things like that. And now he's doing his own thing, which is amazing for Trinidadian hip hop and our culture by extension.
At large.
So we believe in nothing but greatness from them.
Yeah,
I like it. Nothing but greatness. Because I know you itching the hand went up like we're in class.
I want it. Well, as you were saying, it's not really about comparing our music production against the international standard. Is that most time, believing a lot of Trinidadians tend to not even know we have hip hop music, much less at the production quality that it is at. Okay. And when people tend to look at something like hip hop, they really, especially locally, they really wouldn't think that these artists are investing their time, money, effort into putting out a product that is on par with any international artist, whether it be from US, UK, any hip hop, drill, any other scene. That's really what I was trying to convey. I was saying that these artists are working, and we just want to support them as much as possible.
I think it was important to have the distinction, because not necessarily saying that this is what you were actually saying, but it's the assumption. And largely when we start these conversations, we have to have international standards as the measure, and I real fed up, quite frankly. So getting into this series, we're going to dismantle that almost, because we're exploring not just Trinidad and Tobago, but other parts of the region.
Lovely.
So break it down from how the show is going to go.
Right. So basically, we didn't want to go with all the thrills and frills like other shows, and you know, give you one set of pretty things to look at. We wanted to get straight down to the meat.
Okay.
You know, we wanted to interview the artists and get straight down to that interview format where they really get to tell their stories and tell their side of things. So that's what we did. So the show basically will go down into interview format, and we have 4 music videos featured in each episode. It will be premiered every Tuesday at 8 p.m. EST on Tempo Networks. You would have to check your local listing, of course, right? And Tempo Networks YouTube as well. So it will be streaming simultaneously on the YouTube when it airs, when each episode airs, right? So the artists, you know, they give us some good insight into their struggle, their journeys, and obviously the journey to becoming a Trinidadian hip hop artist and standing out in this space, you know?
Beautiful stuff. Let's talk about that lineup then. Kester, who can we look out for?
Okay, it's a great list. We have Mike Wise, who's an amazing rapper. We have DNA 868, Just Liz, Make It Happen, Chromatics, J-Naj. Plus we have
Johnny Bravo, Bang'em
Smith. We have
Rye Entertainment
for the promotional side, because we also wanted to touch on not only the artists, but the entire, like the promoters, the management team. So we did Rye Entertainment, who is a really up and coming promoter. She's doing some great stuff. She has some great artists.
She manages a lot of artists like Ray and
Albon and
things like that.
She's also very committed. We have
Music Zone TT
with Sean Dizzy Khan. He has done he has the shoes.
I love his enthusiasm.
He's put a lot of work into the shoes for years. So Yeah, so like all of these artists, we wanted to touch we wanted to show everyone that it's not just a couple guys throwing on music. It's an entire community, like every other community in this country, like every other music community, rock, no matter what, jazz, everything. And it's a community that is strong and talented. And we just wanted to give them a platform.
Well, this platform is up and running, so we're getting our first episode on
next Tuesday,
right,
at 8 p.m. EST.
Right, and that means that we can check it out on YouTube or, of course, your local listings.
You would see the music videos and the episode on the TV episodes, not on YouTube because of obviously
rights, literally rights. And in that case, we have a full season. 15 episodes.
15 episodes.
Do we have another one in the works?
We can't discuss too much right now.
Dang,
but we might look forward to another island after, because it's about the Caribbean, and that's what Tempo is about. Tempo is about taking Caribbean culture, just like as you said. We don't want to have to match up to an international standard. Let's create our own. We already have our own. Let's showcase it.
Let's showcase it. Good job on doing exactly that, guys. And you at home can tune into YouTube, or you can tune into Italy's to check it out next Tuesday. Something to add to your watch list and something to be proud of. Thank you very much to Jupiter Frost, the digital marketing strategist for Tempo Networks, and Mr. Kester D'Arnaud, producer at Tempo Networks and clearly a hip-hop enthusiast.
What we do here is go back.
Like, comment, and subscribe. Remember to hit that bell to get notifications for more things Tempo.